right, Stacey, thank you very much for that, joining me right now. Does she need an introduction? I mean, this is the beautiful Joan Lunden, absolutely wonderful personality, family woman, mother, breast cancer survivor, and a very, very dear friend.
We've known each other a long time.
Oh, my goodness, many years.
I introduced this guy in New York in 1978.
You did, yeah.
When I was anchoring.
I remember that. Joni, you're a beautiful person. I mean, I know you so well, and a lot of people know you through your experiences on television, but you are a breast cancer survivor, and it was a very aggressive breast cancer. And I know that you went through all of this, and you learned so much. You shared the story. We remember you on People magazine, the cover, and such an inspiration. How are you doing now?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was just one of those decisions that a couple days in, I said, look, I've shared practically my whole life,
yes,
whether I wanted to or not. And this is a chapter that I had a chance to maybe help other women.
Yes.
And I'm happy to say I'm cancer-free.
Coming up on 5 years.
Yeah, coming up on 5 years, and I had a very aggressive cancer, so that's good news.
But there are a lot of challenges right now to get other women into screening, and there's a lot of progress, too, that you were telling me about.
Well, that's the good news.
Yes.
So let's start with the good news, is that there's so many innovations. I mean, there's been so much research done in the world of breast cancer, and so many new treatments available, more in the last 2 years than there have been maybe in the last couple decades.
Right.
For instance, for women who are diagnosed in a really early stage, now we can test to see whether they really need to take chemo. And, you know, chemo is obviously effective. I took it for a year, but it also has side effects. And it's a toxic chemical. It can, you know, lead to problems with your heart, with your...
So they've changed their thinking a little bit about that.
Yes, and they don't just necessarily douse everyone with chemo. That's huge. If you do have to take chemo, there are great adjunct drugs now that you can take so you don't end up with an infection in the hospital. And maybe one of the really important things for people with metastatic breast cancer, a lot of research being done, new treatments becoming available. This is a group that, you know, where the cancer is a late stage, it's spread, and we've really needed more innovations in this field.
You know, the statistics are staggering. We know that. They really are. But you're saying, too, that there's so much progress.
There is.
That we have to think positively about what can be done and what is being done.
Well, with all those innovations, it kind of boils down, though, to the very basic challenge of getting women in to get screened. And it's confusing. You know, for years we've been told start your mammograms at 40. Now there's this suggestion, I'll just say, that you don't get it till you're 50. I hear from women week in and week out on all my social media platforms that are being diagnosed with breast cancer in their early 40s, even younger. If they heeded that suggestion, would they even make it to 50? So this is very frustrating. Another thing close to my heart is the issue of dense breast tissue. Half the women in America have dense breast tissue. And if you do, when you have a mammogram done, that shows up as white, and so does cancer.
So you can't see it.
It's kind of like looking for a snowball in a snowstorm.
Wow.
And I had a 3D, not even the old kind, but a 3D mammogram the day I was diagnosed. I got a clean bill of health. There was nothing seen, and 5 minutes later had an ultrasound, and they found my cancer.
You know,
so women need to ask. When you go in for your mammogram, ask. And ask if an ancillary test is needed.
You're traveling all over the country. You're speaking to people. You're doing great work. You're looking fabulous.
Thank you.
I know you and your whole family. And do you feel good about what you're doing? It's very important.
You know, it's not only work, going out and doing TV shows and speaking, but it's that opportunity to maybe make a difference.
And you are making a difference. Joan Lunden, you're the best. You know, people out there just love you. I love you too so much, okay? Thanks so much for being on the program today,
with you,
okay?
Ernie.
The great Joan Lunden. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody in New York.
Hey, everybody.